against some of the critics who
deserves more credit for this year's success in Weich. Channel 9's Dennis Jansen talked with Weich tonight, and he has more in this report.
This is the ultimate I told you so, I guess, is what I'm saying.
The problem with gloating over anything is next year, you know. When teams don't have a good year, they say, wait till next year. Well, you've got to be careful about next year when you have a good year, because this one's going to be hard to top, for one thing, and it's also going to be tough to maintain it. But there's no reason to gloat. I'm grateful that I had a chance to come back and be a part of this, and it was just a part. I had a highlighted role, I guess, because I'm the head coach, but all the position coaches played such a major role in this. They never get enough credit. Their names are never mentioned.
Congratulations to you. Carl Zander, live from the waterfront, and again, Ken Brew will have more on that coming up in about 10 minutes. The highlight which capped off the day's events went down in Chicago.
Weich and his entire coaching staff is going to be coming back next year. People were scratching their heads what was going through their minds. Obviously, they saw something that a lot of your critics didn't.
Well, they did, and, you know, Paul has been in this business, and so he certainly knew it. The problem with that particular announcement was there was nothing that we could do about it to justify his decision for months. And even after it got started, there was going to be speculation from week to week until things started to unfold. And then as the fast start, the 6-0 start happened, there was the wonder of, will they maintain it, and will they crumble, or will they hold on, especially after we dropped a couple there alternating weeks. We never dropped 2 in a row, but we did, and we played well at the end in our defense. The part that was criticized probably as much as our special teams and defense were behind the offense early in the season. They came through and peaked just at the right time, right in the middle of the playoffs, and really won the ball game for us today. Special teams and defense were the thrust of our win.
And what a win. John Popovich will, of course, have more of Denny's talk with Sam Weich later in sports of all sorts. It was truly a day of celebration for all Bengal fans, and a day of celebration for the Cincinnati police, because they report relatively few incidents at the game. None of them were serious. Lori Stafford takes us to the game full of fans and full of moments to remember.
Almost a continuous Hoo-Day chant filled the air at Riverfront today. With so much enthusiasm on both sides, police were worried the jungle might turn into a nightmare. Instead, Bills and Bengals fans simply yelled their loudest and left it at that.
Because we're here to have fun. We're not here to get rowdy or cause a scene. We're all here for the same reason, as to see our team win.
Very, very good fans. Happy to be here. We're a little worried coming here, first of all. You hear so much talk about being in the jungle, but the fans, people are real nice.
But for the first time in jungle history, fans had to leave their noisemakers at the door. A new NFL rule banned them. Police also kept drinking at bay, cutting off the taps at the end of the third quarter, just like last week.
No more beer?
Beer or no beer, the realization of a Super Bowl berth hit fans at the 2-minute warning, and the celebration continued from then. Police then prepared for the worst, with 20 officers ringing the field with orders not to let fans on the gridiron. This officer says his football training came in handy. At least 8 people were arrested, but that was 8 out of the flood of other Bengal maniacs who headed to the celebration.
All the way to Miami now, all the way.
Police finally swept the field to get rid of the fans and prepare for the onslaught at Fountain Square, a crowd that never materialized there, but instead, many thousand fans headed to 2nd Street, where enthusiasm turned into a few bar brawls. Police say none serious. Although there were a handful of fights and about a dozen arrests, Cincinnati police say all in all, the after-the-game celebration was relatively calm. But they say they're glad the Super Bowl is in Miami. Lori Stafford, Channel 9 News.
Safety was the key word after the game as well. Kentucky transportation officials were keeping a very close eye on the suspension bridge. Unlike the swaying that occurred after the game last Saturday, the bridge did not move back and forth today. Police were limiting the number of cars and buses to ensure that the only rocking that happened inside the stadium. During the game, the stadium...
And even
the CT changes
on the field.
Well, we needed it to be loud. They got as loud as they possibly could without their horns and their stuff, whatever the league declared illegal or whatever. They just played as much a part in this as anybody. It was just a tremendous day.
Maybe if we'll send down about $10 million, maybe they'll let us play the Super Bowl here in the jungle, because I tell you, we're tough to handle here.
Isn't that the truth? It was a fun afternoon, and we'll have more coverage of the Bengals' big win coming up.
A North Carolina woman is not in perfect condition tonight. Yvonne Schmidt becomes the 4th person to fall from Riverfront Stadium this season alone. A rescue crew at the scene says Schmidt was pushed from the stands by an overzealous crowd, falling 8 to 10 feet to the ground below. Ironically, she fell from nearly the same spot that another fan tumbled from several weeks ago. The good news, though, is that Schmidt was treated and released from Christ Hospital with head and neck injuries. I'd imagine the emotions at the game kept pretty much everyone there warm despite all of the chill in the air. But there is no escaping the bitter cold outside now, unless, of course, you don't go outside at all. Bob Allen is here with his first look at the weather. Bob?
Thanks, Deborah.
700 WLW.
Can do this. Hey, Icky, can you do this, Icky? Do this in the end zone. And I'll let somebody have my coat when I go to Florida next week.
Thoughts of Florida and the Bengals were in the minds of Bear fans earlier in the day.
You know what makes this Bengal team so interesting, Jim? I think they can get big plays.
They toasted a Bears-Bengals Super Bowl matchup with ice-cold Old Style along ice-cold Lake Michigan and a pregame wind chill of 30 degrees below zero.
Cincinnati's got to think Chicago's crazy.
We are nuts. We're completely insane. But we are Bear fans.
But they quickly became disappointed.
They're waiting to take them on in Super Bowl 23.
Let it happen, Captain. We're on the new menu.
The Bengals are AFC champs, headed for the Super Bowl. My name is Ken Brew, and Sports Extra is straight ahead.
Love you all, Cincinnati. What we're doing. It's over.
Now, we thought after the Bears lost, some of the Super Bowl paraphernalia would be marked down a bit in price. Not quite here in Chicago. $15. So get ready, Cincinnati. Victory does have a price. Reporting live from Chicago with some Super Bowl paraphernalia, Jay Schatz, Channel 9 News.
But you look oh so good in that hat,
Well,
Jay.
thank you. It's good to be inside today.
We'll see you back here. It's a little warmer.
Thanks a lot.
And the early odds in the Super Bowl go to the 49ers. Odds makers in Las Vegas are now giving the San Francisco 49ers 6 points over the Bengals in the Super Bowl. But they admit it's still early and anything can change. If you weren't among the 60,000 fans or so lucky fans able to see the big game inside the stadium or inside the jungle as it's known, you're not alone. Most of us watch the big win from our favorite armchair or a friend's house, or maybe even a local bar. As John Madariz tells us, many of those fans
stay at the state.
Class of the AFC this year. Buffalo's stifling defense, the Bengals and their game-breaking offense. Buffalo had lost twice to Cincinnati this season, pre- and regular season. Would number 3 in the postseason be the charm? In the jungle, Buffalo got lost. First quarter.
Your request on your printed professional letterhead to Department CME at